Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Michelle. I do all things sewing over here, sewing vlogs, sewing tutorials, everything sewing. So if that's your vibe, go ahead and like this video and subscribe. I have a new order to fulfill, and this is something different. I've created this dress before, and I believe that this client saw that video on, I think it was TikTok, but I just showed a long maxi jersey dress. Let me see if you can guess who wore this dress. It's a basketball jersey, the numbers and the athlete's name on the back, but it's a long floor length stretchy maxi dress. Let me know who wore that dress before I put the inspo pictures right here. I'll wait. So I'll put some inspiration pictures here. Yep, it was Mariah Carey. I forget the year that she wore this dress. I can remember when she showed up for Michael Jordan and she performed in this long maxi dress. Even back then when I saw it, I was like, that's a really cute dress. Last year sometime, a girl reached out to me and she wanted that same inspiration out of a Saints jersey. And I created it for her. And I posted it on social media and everybody liked it. A lot of people liked it. I liked it too. It was really fun to make. This time around, I'm creating the same type of jersey dress, but it's gonna be with the Chicago Bulls colors. This client, she wants her name on the back to be customized. I was loving the communication between her and I because she's very prompt. She was very detailed on what she wanted. She already had her measurements set. Like, she had all of the measurements, not even just her bust, her waist, her hip. She had extra measurements on top of that even before I asked her. So I was like, oh, thank you, girl, thank you. But I'm so excited to make something different. I just want to get better from the last time that I made it. So we are here to make this jersey dress. So what she did was just get a kid's jersey, which is it's really smart to just do that because it's much cheaper if you just buy a kid's jersey, just to get the name and the number and to get everything that's on the back. I have to ask her if she wants this to be on the front, but I know she wants the number on the front and the number on the back. And then I got these patch letters in the same black and white style like this, and I'm going to customize the back with her first name. I do want to contact her and see if she actually wants Jordan on the front. I'm not sure if she does, but that's gonna be last anyway. I already have my pattern size cut out. This is gonna be really simple. It's just getting the measurements and the sizing correct. This fabric that I bought is 4-way stretch, but this is some stretchy material. It's really stretchy, and she wants this dress to be fitted to her body like a bodycon dress. I may have to do some remeasuring and keep sizing it in order to meet her measurements and kind of judge it with the stretch that's in this material. So that's gonna be my only challenge for this order. Usually with custom orders, I run into multiple challenges and it kind of freaks me out a little bit, but this one is not freaking me out that much. I'm really excited to do this one. Oh, I do have another challenge. So the other challenge is that she want her sleeves to mimic an actual jersey. So this ribbing, this trim on the outside of jerseys, she wants the same trimming on her dress. This is going to be too wide. My only thing is that I may have to fold it in half and then treat this as the size here. I'm going to get to this later, but cut everything out and then cut this out on this jersey and stick it on the front and the back of her dress, and then I can figure out this trim to put on the inner part of her dress and to put on her sleeves. The first thing to do is to lay this fabric out on the floor so I can cut out the size that I need. Alright, that took me a little while because I have to make sure there were no folds underneath. I have to make sure everything is nice and smooth before I make a cut. I have my front and back pieces cut out. I do have a third challenge. The third challenge is putting side panels on the dress, front and the back, to be red, and she wants black panels just like Mariah Carey's dress. If you can see there, she has those black panels on the side and it runs all the way from the top to the bottom. I don't know if I want to make it one size going all the way down or make it go wide and narrow and then wide again at the bottom. This is a better shot right here. But I think I'm going to make it like the same size going from here all the way down to the hip. Once I get to this little bend in the knee, then I can make this measurement down here a little wider. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take the pattern size, the pattern shape to create my side panels and just create this to be like a 2.5 inch size from underneath the armpit going all the way down past the hip to the knee. And then once I get to the knee, I'm going to bring it out just a little bit. All right, what I'm doing now is folding the black fabric in order to get these side panels. I just folded a little piece on this fabric here, about 5 inches. I folded it. I'm gonna lay the underarm part of the pattern and where it curves out, I'm gonna lay it on the fold in order to get my side panel. This is what I'm thinking that I have to do. I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it, but this is how I'm just thinking it through. If this is not the correct way to do it, I still have enough fabric on here to fool with. For the side panels, I'm just going to cut out a 3-inch strip for each side and just work with that. I think trying to make it curve with the body is kind of throwing me off, and I don't know if that's going to work. So I'm going to do it the simplest way that my brain can register it and just take it from there. It is much later in the day. My son is now home, so if y'all hear background noises, that's what that is. He's in his room, in his little world, in his room. But I think I left off with cutting the 3-inch strips for the sides. So I cut 2 of them for each side. And since I'm going to be adding this, it's going to be 3-inch strips. The seam allowance is 1/2 inch. And if I fold this 3-inch strip, that'll leave me with 1 inch on each side. So I am going to cut down the body of the dress, the red fabric. I'm going to cut it down 1/2 inch. The front and the back piece is still folded. So if I cut 1/2 inch, that'll be 1 inch for each, for the front, and 1 inch for the back. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to make it make sense in my head. I'm just gonna work with 1/2 inch and just work my way from there. So I'm using my sewing gauge and I'm gonna set this at 1/2 inch. Just glide it along the edge here and just make my cut that way. I'm just connecting one of the side panels to the front, and as I'm doing this, I'm just matching it up, and I'm not going to stretch it out. I have to be mindful of that. So I'm just going to relax it and just let the machine work. Just like any other fabric, you don't want to stretch it, but I'm just being really mindful since this is really stretchy and you may want to pull on it. I'm just being mindful of that. All right, here's the front piece of the dress. I got the black panels sewn to the front. Before I attach the back of the dress, I want to go ahead and put the patch letters on the front and the back before I attach them. And then I'm going to have to figure out the trim around the neckline and the armholes. But I have to put the whole dress together before I can figure this out. I am going to be cutting everything off. She wants this on the front, the numbers on the front, and these numbers on the back, along with her name on the back. So I bought these patch letters that are very similar to the ones that's on this jersey. I pretty much have the position for the patches. I don't want to spray any adhesive on this, so what I'm going to do is just use my heat erasable pens to mark the bottom of the patches so I'll know where to place them. Okay, I had to resort to using the adhesive spray because trying to sew this on to stretch material is a little difficult. So I didn't want to use this, but I have to use it. So what I'm doing is just putting just a little bit on so it can stick to the fabric. Get my marks. I have my marks here. Here's my letter. And since I've already made my marks on the dress, I know exactly like where to put it. I've stuck on the R and that's still holding on, and the D. So I'm gonna sew these on and then do the rest of the patches. Alright, that worked out pretty good. This was sliding all over the place, and by the time I was finished stitching it, this R was like all the way on this side. Alright y'all, it is a new day and I am still working on this dress. To be honest, I last left off putting the letters on the front and the back. In between that time and now, I was communicating with the client and there was a lot of back and forth on whether she wanted these letters on the front, and I had to just hold off on it for a little bit because I was like, okay, I need to know exactly what you would like. If you don't want the letters on the front, then we need to reevaluate so I can get this shipped out to you. I am on a time crunch. She wants this at a particular time. I have a deadline, and all of the back and forth, it wasn't helping me. I had to step away from it for a little bit. And I told her that I will need the time to work on it since you're not giving me a direction on what you would like on your dress. Because you're the one who has to wear the dress, not me. I'm just producing it for you. But if I don't know which direction you want to take, then I have to stop production on it until you can figure it out. We worked it out. The communication line is back on track. And she wants everything as is. So I'm just moving forward with it. Now I am pushing forward. Everything is staying as is. I had to let her know if she didn't want this on the front, I would have to start over. I had to spray the adhesive on this, and if I were to take this off, all of the stitch lines would show with the needle pinching into this fabric. I feel like all of those holes would show, and I had to spray adhesive on this. So there will be adhesive marks on this. So I would have to start over. Luckily, I bought enough fabric to make another panel. So I suggested that to her, saying that I would have to start over. It probably would have been an additional charge with me starting over, but I did bring that up as an option. And she said no, she just wants this as is. What she wanted was bulls on the front. From her understanding, she thought that the jersey that she purchased had bulls, but the one that she purchased had Jordan on the front. And I made that clear to her. I asked her if she wanted the Jordan on front, and she said yes. So after I sent her a picture of this, she said she thought it would be bulls. She wanted me to probably use the smaller letters that I had to buy to make her last name on the back. But these are like a 2x2 size. And I feel like that's not a great scale to be on the front to make the word bulls. So I had to let her know. And I took a picture of it just sitting here just to show her the scale compared to the number 23, and I don't think it would just hit as much as the Jordan, because this is like a 4-inch size and this is a 2-inch size. After I explained everything to her fully, she was like, you know, you're right, just keep everything as is and just keep pushing forward. So that's where we are today. All right, so I have the black panels sewn to the side, and here is the back of the dress. So now all I have to do is attach the front to the back and then put the ribbing on the neckline and the sleeves. This is one of the major parts where I wanted to take my time and kind of test it out, because I did have to fold this trim in half because it's too wide in order to go on the neckline and the sleeves. I just wanted enough time to fool with this and make sure I do it correctly. Before I move forward with that, I just want to make sure her bust, her waist, her hip measurements will match with what I have, especially since I had to put the additional side seams, the black side panels on the dress. Y'all, it's been a journey with this dress. Oh my gosh. This is like my first time dealing with 4-way stretch material. It's so hard trying to get the actual measurements on point because you have to reduce it like big time. You have to reduce the sizing on this. I'm assuming that whatever the actual body measurement is for a stretchy dress like this, you have to condense it at least 8 inches. So it was a little difficult trying to measure this all out and making sure that it would fit her, and also dealing with these side panels. That's what really threw me off, but I think I have it now. The other thing that helped me out was that she already has maxi dresses that she owns. So I told her to take out one of the maxi dresses that she likes the fit of and give me the measurement of that actual maxi dress. That has helped me so much to get this exactly how she wanted, because she wants this to fit. She wants it to fit. So I'm so glad she was able to provide those measurements to me. I didn't even show this, and I'm just not saying this, but I had to cut the side panel out, the original side panels out, because it was too wide. I put a 3-inch strip in it, and that made the dress really big. It made the dress to be her actual measurements, and I had to condense it down some more. So what I did was cut out the 3-inch strip, the black strip, and then I resized the actual pattern piece. I took like an inch off of the pattern piece. I just cut out the pattern piece to these two panels, the front and back. Now it's time to work on the trim, the neckline and the sleeves. My anxiety is like, it's shooting through the roof right now. I don't know why it is, but yeah, it is. It is coming out so good though. It is very slim and trim, baby, but it's gonna stretch. This is some stretchy material. I have to figure out how to attach this onto the neckline and the shoulder. So since I had to make this fold, I just went on and put a stitch on the white part so it can actually be folded, and then I just have to attach the white edge with the edge of the shoulder or the armhole, stitch it down here, flip it. I need all three colors to show. I need the white to show as well. I am so stressed out. My only concern is the edge when I have to meet both edges when I go around. So I know I have to start at the bottom here, stitch all the way around, and then I just don't know how to finish this edge, and then once I come around and finish that edge. What I might do is get the right measurement and unstitch it, and then meet both sides together to stitch it, and then flip it the right way. I have 2 yards of this trim, so I'm just gonna take a little bit. My nails, I'm so ready to do my nails over. Since this is so short, I'm gonna have to unstitch all of this. Let me try something. I'm just gonna run a stitch down this way and let me see what that gets me. All right, I figured out what to do. So I just unstitched this side and this side, right sides together, ran a stitch, and then flipped it. Now it's connected. I had to measure out the armhole, and I left about 1/4 of an inch extra on each side, and I just ran my stitch and now it's connected. Let's see if this fits now. And I'm still being careful with not stretching out the fabric. I think I'm just gonna run a basting stitch right where I want this to lay, and just to test it out to see how everything is looking. If everything looks good, then I'll go ahead and bring my serger. I don't know if I want to serge it either. I want everything to look professional though, because once I stitch it, I have to flip this over this way and just make sure some of this white part shows, and then put a top stitch on the jersey so this can sit flat. Let me run a basting stitch first and see how it looks. I thought I didn't have enough for the neckline. Oh, okay. I am almost finished with this. I keep going back and forth if I want to do a top stitch. I don't think I'm going to do that. I just don't want this to be too restricting. I brought it over to the ironing station just to lay it down flat, and that seemed to work. I'm gonna go back and run a regular stitch at 2.5, then flip this back over and just steam it really good. so it could just lay flat the right side out. With this front part, I may want to put a dart right in the center so that can lay down as well. I'm not sure yet. I just don't want this to droop as it stretches and for this front part to start flipping the wrong side out. After I complete this part, then all I have to do is measure it out to the length that she gave me. I'm going to measure that out, trim the bottom, serge it, and just flip it one time and then stitch it all the way around. I have some loose threads on the letters, so I'm going to go through that as well. Just make sure everything looks nice and neat. Make sure everything looks good. Pack it up and ship it to the client. Oh my god, y'all, it is morning time. Y'all, I didn't get any sleep last night thinking about this dress. I realized that I screwed up. I messed up big time, and I could not send the dress off the way it was looking. I messed up because the cut that I made on the red fabric, I curved that to match the client's measurements. And then I put a straight black panel on the curve. I don't know why I don't know what I was thinking. I should have known that I couldn't put a straight panel on something that had curves on it. After I finished the dress last night, everything was shifted. And I know if she would have put that dress on and started walking and shifting, the dress would have been shifting along with her. And this black panel would be probably in the center of her legs. And I didn't sleep last night because I was thinking about that. I don't know what I was thinking when I made that cut on the red fabric. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning to fix this dress. I went to sleep thinking about what my plan was going to be for today, and I already knew what to do because I made this dress before, and I should have just followed the same steps that I followed with the other dress. But it's been about a year since I made that dress, and I was trying something different, especially since this is more stretch to this fabric. The other dress that I made didn't have this much stretch. But I should have just followed my first intuition and just did it the same way. So what I did this morning was cut the black panels out, and then with the red fabric, the front and back, I just made a cut all the way down, straight down. I got rid of the curves that were in the pieces. And then I had to make a slither of pattern pieces from the front and back panels. I need to go to the gym because I have so much anxiety pent up because of this dress, but I'm just glad that I was able to just lay in my bed and think about what I did wrong, and I thought about what I did wrong and what was the plan for the next day. So I was ready to get this done, and I executed it. I just took a slither of the pattern. I measured out 3/4 plus the part that I cut out from the red. I filmed a little bit. I will show you a little bit. I didn't want to film while I was doing that because I was trying to concentrate, and I couldn't try to film, get all of the angles, and think about what I needed to do to get this dress right. And also, I was running out of black fabric. So my heart was like, I only have like a little bit left of the black fabric from cutting these panels. Everything turned out good. I'm loving how it turned out. But this was so nerve-wracking. If I make this dress again, I know exactly what I need to do. And it's not going to take me as long as it did with this dress. Sometimes sewing is trial and error. It really is. You're gonna run into problems, whether it's with your sewing machine jamming on you, you don't know what's going on with that. If you're making cuts and you get one measurement off, that'll throw off everything. If the pattern that you're using, if it's a new pattern that you haven't used and they don't really have the measurements right, or the instructions are not very clear, you're always gonna run into problems. You're always gonna run into problems. But it's up to you to get creative, use your thinking skills, and have a plan B and a plan C. Ultimately, at the end, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. There are some flaws to the dress that's my own personal critique, and I'm being hard on myself. But I feel like I could do better in some areas, but all together, the dress came out wonderfully. And I just hope that it fits her like a glove, like she wants it to. I've measured the new dress and it still matches up with the measurements that she gave me. So I'm very hopeful about this. I was so stressed out this morning, I'm not gonna lie, but it all came together. It all came together. I feel like all of the custom orders that I post and upload on my channel, I'm always stressed out and always like heavily critiquing myself. But that's just what I do, y'all. I'm sorry. Just let me know what you think about this dress. If you like this video, go ahead and like it, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'll talk to you later. Bye.